Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another CSGO cheat review and showcase. In today's CSGO cheat review and showcase, as you can see in the top right maybe and the top left, we are doing the long-awaited GetRekt.xyz review. So GetRekt.xyz is a private application and invite-only cheat, which I'm pretty sure the applications will be closing pretty soon, fairly soon. They didn't close, but they opened back up, I'm pretty sure. So if you guys wanted to try and get in, you guys can go to the link below and see if you guys can apply at the time that you're watching this. So opening the menu first off, you're greeted with, in the top left, you have the GetRekt Club, which if you open, you can see all the change logs, the members online, and then a refresh. So you can just close by doing that. You have a welcome, and then your username and your picture on the top left. And then you have your online users, which they're only 18 right now. In the top right, you have your little watermark. It's very faint, but you can hardly see it. It's a little skull for the GetRekt. And then in the top left, you have Welcome Back Thermite. Users online 18, which you can turn off. Underneath that, you have a nice blue, gray, basic white menu, which I'm not the biggest fan of, but you know, it gets the job done. There's a lot of features, so you know that all comes together. At the top, you have your rage features. You have your legit, your visuals, your miscellaneous, your skin changer, your player list, your luas, and your configs. So quickly, we're just going to go over the configs. You have your configs here, which you can create, add and save, refresh, delete, selected, save and load. So if I were to add one, call it GetRekt, you can add it, which comes over here, and then you can save and load it from there. Same with the luas, you just drag them into your files, and then they come up over here, and then you load, and then over here on the left is where the selection screen for that will go. We're going to hop into the miscellaneous first and skip over the skin changer and player list for now. In miscellaneous, you have the most amount of stuff. You have your miscellaneous 1, 2, your rank changer, move recorder, movement, cams, grenade helper, and translator. This has to be the most I've ever seen in a cheat before, and that's why I'm a big fan of this cheat. So miscellaneous 1, going down, you have fast top, which you can set to a key. You have your show competitive rankings, which if I were to hold tab, it would show the ranks if these guys were real people. You have a built-in block bot, which you can set to a key. You have a grief nade, which is really cool. So this cheat has been basically known for griefing. So if I were to set that to N, give myself a grenade, and then hit N, it would basically do that. And now that nade has screwed everything up, so then I reset itself. Nice. So the nade basically just puts you to 2 HP. So yeah. Here you also have your spectator list. So you have a nice little box you can drag anywhere. You can have your event log, which you can put anywhere on the screen, which just stays up. And then you can see everything, and then you can also resize it like so. So if you wanted event log up here, perfect. You have your player info box, which you can set to team check as well with a key. So that just shows everything on the right side here. You can also resize each one of these menus. You have team check, which you can set to a key. You have your grief box, which you can set to a key right here. So your grief box basically shows all your teammates, the team damage they did, and the amount of TKs they have. So then if you want to get people banned with your grief nade, this sheet's perfect for that. Your third person, which is pretty basic, you can set that to a key. So if I press V, just like that, pretty basic. Your Overwatch revealer, so if you're doing an Overwatch case, you can see actually who is the person in the Overwatch, the suspect. You have your vote revealer, so you can see who called the vote and who voted. You have your run boost, which you can set to a key. So a run boost, you just get on your teammate's head. It's basically like a block bot, but then it makes you jump off, so then you get a lot of speed. You have your auto accept, which is for matchmaking. Your engine radar, which you can see people on the radar. You have your force crosshair, so if I were to get a gun like a scout, as you can see I now have the crosshair, which if I turn that off it wouldn't be on. You have no duck cooldown, which just allows you to duck all the time. And then underneath that you have your fake lag, which you can set to enable or on key. You have your adaptive fake lag, and you can choose the type. If I were to set this to 13, you can go all the way up past that to do control click. So if I wanted to do 14 ticks rather than just a high limit 6, it limits you because this is supposedly a legit cheat. But as you can see, with 14 ticks, it looks like I'm lagging a little bit. So then also you have your slow walk, which you can set to a key. So as you can tell, it just slow walks a little slower than what the basic is. Going into miscellaneous 2, you have your clan tag changer. If I were to set that to GetRekt, it's just GetRekt.xyz. You can have a custom and a clan tag stealer, which is kind of cool, which you can get to the player list, which I'll show you later. If I were to go to GetRekt, you can choose an animation type. So you have static, you have slide, which looks like that. You have space, which space is probably my favorite. It's a little, original, I would say. And then you have just the game sense, in and out, pretty simple. And then again, you can do that with all the normal, custom clan tags, as you can see, just like so. And then the stealer will allow you to completely sync up with people. Your name changer, which you can set to GetRekt, and then same thing like that. Game sense, slide. You can have a custom, you can have a blank name, and you can have a name stealer. Then underneath that you have your spam trash talk, which you can set to anything, as you can see. Or if you didn't want that, you can just turn on trash talk, and then you get that, which is kind of funny. And then you have an auto inviter. So if you're in the main menu over here, it would invite all your friends like so. So if I just hit that, it would invite all your friends, all the recent players, and everything like that, just to get as much people to get in your lobby as possible. Getting into your rank changer, this is for your your lobby. So if I were in a lobby right now with a bunch of other people, I would be able to change my rank, my commands to anything, my competitive wins, my level, have it as a prime account, or do anything like that. So if I wanted that, do that, sure, refresh. And then as you can see, it changes. That's my amount of wins. And then if I look on my profile, as you can see, all my commands. So that works just fine. It works perfectly as you want. Underneath that, you have your move recorder, which if you were to enable that, you can show your circle, show path, show nameplate, status bar. If I were to do that, you can show buttons. You can do that. You can unlock view angles, which you can set to a key. You can have aim smoothing. You can have your FOV changer, like so. And then you can have, I forgot to explain. So this whole move recorder thing is basically to record movement tricks and then play them over in a config, which is really, really cool. And you can download these and you can have like a distance to show. So if I were to record one and save it and load it, I would see, like, say a circle, go to that circle, and then it would play the movement recording, which is really cool. This is really good for movement, which I don't see a lot of other cheats even have, I don't think. So, it does a lot of cool things. And that's just a lot to go over during this. But it's here, and if you're a really high level movement player, you could just record your own in a private match or something on a map, save it, and then go on online. And you can go to that spot and play it, so it's perfect. Moving on to the right, you have your movement. You have your bunny hop, your auto strafing, which you can set to a key, edge jump, which you can set to a key, jump bug, which you can set to a key as well, and then your jump bug height, which you can set a custom input, and then auto duck, which you can set to a key as well. So turning off that, as you can see, the auto strafer, I'm not holding A or D right now, and the bunny hop and auto strafer are working perfectly. It's sort of a legit type of one, but it doesn't need to be. You can make it really whatever you want. You have your fake angles, and then underneath that you have your edge bug assist options. So you have your edge bug, turn on a key. You have your long jump bind on edge jump, your long jump forward, back, movement right, movement left, and then you have your jump bug, fake scroll with miss, and then edge bug assist, and then null bind in here, which just are just all your edge bug type stuff. I'm not a big movement player. I don't really know a lot about it, but you have that if you are. Next up, you have your cams, which you can set to anything. So this is a mirror cam. So if I were to move around, as you can see, that's looking directly behind me, which is really cool. So this cheat has cameras. You can change the size of it. Say if you want it really small and you just want it over here, so now you can see directly behind you. I have your map overview camera, which is kind of cool as well. So if I were to fly over here, as you can see, it just has everything like an overview perfectly rather than just the map. You can change the map size, the map zoom. You can disable props on the map overview, props, planar models. You can draw them if you want, team check, and then the player ESP size. So if I wanted that really big for some reason, you can see them on the map. Underneath that, you have enemy cam, which you can set to a key, and then you can set to always on, and then you can see what other people are seeing of you. So if I were to go up to any one of these guys, as you can see, I'm flying around right now, and it's switching people to, I believe, who's looking at you. I'm pretty sure, but I could be wrong. You can set that to a key, just turn on. So that cams is pretty cool because it works really well, and it's just kind of cool to see. I don't really see that in a lot of cheats. So that's it for your cams tab. Getting into your grenade helper tab, you have your grenade helper configs. So this is the same as let's say Nova line, for example. So you can set it for hand grenades only. So if I were to give myself a grenade, and if I were to have a config on, you can show circle. For your configs, you can show the description, the name of it. I don't have any configs downloaded right now, and you can like set a key to move to the spot. You can set a key to auto throw the grenade once you're in the spot, and then you can load configs, all etc. So that's kind of cool. If you guys were to download one or set one up yourself, it helps a lot, looking legit, being able to throw correct grenades. And then finally, you have your translator, which you can enable. So if you wanted, as you can see down here, it says my messages will be translated to Arabic. You can do that, and then others' messages will be translated to English. So if someone on the enemy team was speaking, let's say Arabic, it would translate back to English, and if you typed, it would translate to Arabic. So that's kind of cool. You do see that in some cheats, but most of the time, it does involve luas. So yeah. So after the miscellaneous tab, we're going to hop straight into the skin changer tab, which you can select your weapons, which you can just scroll through and find it. So let's say, since I had the scout, let's look for the SSG. Oh wait, really quick. There it is. Okay. So on the SSG 08, you can set your seed to any skin you want. You can set your stat track if you wanted, your wear. So let's just set that as my stat track. You can set the name tag. You can set a filter by weapon, and then you can set a preview. So if I were to want that, you can do that. And then if you don't have filter by weapon, you can't see the preview, but you can choose anything you wanted. But if you have filter by weapon, you can see any of the skins. And then if I were to switch over, didn't update yet properly, but once you die, it will, there we go, hitting the update button fixes it. It switches straight to that. You have the correct stat track that you selected, and then it does count up, which is kind of cool. And then moving over to stickers, you can select one through how many ever stickers you can add, and then you can just add selected stickers no matter what, which is kind of cool. So that is it for your skin changer tab. Pretty basic. They do have a search function just like that, which is really helpful. The only thing that you don't have is the search function for the weapons. That's not a big detriment. So yeah, getting into your player list then. As you can see here, this is your player list. You can see who is using GetRekt. It's very much so like a Flowhooks player list, which I love a lot. You can select for the player, you can see their ID in the server, you can see the profile picture, their username, their health, you can see their hit groupings, which you can select anything. you can see the player config, which you can set to rage, neutral, or friendly. You can see if they're a GetRekt user in their username. So Thermite, that's mine, that's my UID, and then you can highlight or remove the highlight on them. Underneath that, you can see here you can reset your name, since you can steal names from here, just like what's it called? Sorry, flow hooks. You can steal your clan tag of the player. You can kick the player if you're the host. You can visit the profile and then add friend. And then all info shows basically everything about the account. And then if I scroll down, it shows the stats of the of the game. And then over here in options, you can do custom visuals and then resolve for them. And then you can comment and then add a record. And then settings, you can highlight the settings. And then records, if I were to add myself, add record. And then over here, and then you can see if he's banned. So if they're cheating, you can just add them to your records, which is kind of cool. I like that. Same with flow hooks. So that's basically for your player list. It's basically flow hooks, which I'm not complaining about. It's a great player list. You can do so much with it, especially in the line of griefing, which I love. It's perfect for what I would do. It's amazing. I love it. So that's it for the player list. Next up, we're going to get into the visual tab really quickly. So I'm going to skirt over here and get right up next to here. Even though we have a preview, it's still nice to have, you know, an enemy right next to me. So you have ESP and other. So under ESP, you have enable ESP, which you can set to a key. You have your team check. You have your boxes, which is just basic boxes. Fill boxes, which kind of disgusting. You have your names, which is a player name. So you can see this in the player menu pretty well. You have your health, which you can set to up, down, right, left, or then text only, such as that. If I want it on the right, you could do that. You have your animate HP, which will do that. You have your armor, which you can set to up, down, same difference. You have your weapon, which you can see down here, AK-47, knife. You have your show ammo, so if these guys had the gun out, you would be able to see their ammo. You can turn on skeleton, set to, and by the way, any of these things you can set to any color. It's an RGB slider, and then go up or down in the opacity. Pretty basic. You have your head box, which you can just see where you want to aim. So say if you had this on, you had ESP, you would know exactly where head level is all the time, because you'll be able to see where their head is, which is kind of cool. And then underneath that, you have your snap lines, which I'm not a fan of. I don't know why, if anyone actually uses that. You have your flags, which you can turn on. And then you have your shared ESP. So if you're playing with someone with GetRekt, you'll be able to see who they see, which you normally wouldn't be able to. You can see the sight lines of the enemies, which you can hide if they're visible. So if they're not visible, like that guy is over there. Where is he? He's over there. So he's behind the player. As soon as he goes visible, turns off. Underneath that, you have your POV arrows, which you can turn to a circle and then a distance from that. So as you can see, this is my just the out of FOV arrows. So you can turn on the circle if you wanted. I don't really like that. And then you can change the size. So it's just out of FOV. Underneath that, you have a grenade prediction, which you can enable. You can also predict others. So when people are throwing grenades at you, it will do that. And as you can see, which is kind of cool, it shows the exact damage that you're going to do to the player if you throw it. So if I throw that, it's at 53. As you can see, it's not perfect, but that's just because nades are kind of weird. And armor. So that is the grenade prediction. You can also team check as well. Underneath that, you have your sound visuals, so if they're moving around, it'll be the same type of thing. Just a circle at their feet. Underneath that, you have your crosshair, which you can turn on spread, recoil, or both. So if I were to turn on both, take that out, as you can see, that's my spread. As you can see, once I shoot, it kind of changes for the recoil, which I kind of like. I like the recoil one. And then you can change if you just want a circle, or if you wanted a oops, I unejected. So hitting delete also just completely hides your everything, which is kind of nice to know. as you can see, that's just a recoil type thing. That's what I would use, just circle. You can turn on simple crosshair, it's disgusting, and then recoil default. So then if you didn't want that, you would just be able to follow the actual crosshair itself. Underneath that, you have your ESP for your dropped weapons, which you can show ammo for. You have your loot boxes. I'm pretty sure that's for danger zone. You have diffuse kit ESPs. You have nade ESP, nade timers. So if I were to throw this, as you can see, it just has the nade. And then underneath that, you have your draw C4, your bomb damage. So if someone planted over there, and I would say die from it, it would say the damage. And then if I walk, it would not kill me because I would know the damage that it does. You can turn on the timer for that, and then you can have your sliders for the different colors, which is kind of cool. To the right of that, you have your glow, which is just glow ESP. So if I enable that and walk over here, you can glow players, as you can see. I like the glow on this cheat. It's probably one of my favorites, at least the base one. I kind of like that. I don't usually use glow a lot, but you can do that. And then underneath that, you can do that for chickens. Your C4 carrier, which is a different glow. Planted, diffuse kits, and then weapons. To the right of that, you finally have your champs, which I were to enable that. I kind of like the colors that it gives you, and you have a lot of champ styles. So this one is textured, that is flat, Asimov, ESL, flashing, you have your normal glass, crystal clear, gold, gold detail, crystal blue, Hydra crystal, sorry. You're removing spectrum, which is the type of advanced aim type stuff. Tree Man 2, Iglet. I'm pretty sure that's what that says. I can't really tell. You have your Harry, your wireframe, Clean Alpha 2, Mummy, Perfect Chams, Horror, Gold Cologne, Pin, P Chams, Hockey Killer, Brick Boy, Perfect Shadow, Metal, and then animated last but not least. I kind of like the animated type deal. If I were to change this like that, you can change your pearlescent, which is horrific. I'm not a fan of the pearlescent. You could ignore Z, so that just means that you'll be able to see them behind walls. As you can see chams beyond the walls. You have far model chams, so if they're very far out and you can just see their ESP, you'll be able to see their chams. Then you have your own self chams, which you have arm chams. You can turn on the glow. You have your weapon chams as well, which are fully customizable, the same as anything else. So arms, if I wanted brick arms, pretty simple. So that's it for your chams. Moving on, let me just set that to something less hurting of the eyes. There we go, that's a little bit better. So next, under your visuals, you have your other visuals, which is just basically just all your removals and whatnot. So under FPS boost, you have no fog, no 3D sky, no shadows, no grass, no blur, and no post-processing. Under that, you have your lag compensation for backtrack skeletons and backtrack chams. Underneath that, you have your colors. You can color your world any color, which is horrifying. Oh no, that's not good, is it? And then you can color your sky any color that you would want. You have your bullet tracers, which you can, and then you can also set your colors to dark mode and light mode. I would suggest setting it to dark mode as fast as possible. You can change your theme color, so if you want a yellow or something like that, you could. Background color, background child color, and then the text color. And then on the right here, you have no visual recoil, no hands, no smoke, no flash, no scope zoom, and then you have OBS hide, which is kind of cool. And you still get your chams and stuff from your hiding OBS, which is amazing. I like that a lot. And then you can change your skybox. So if I were to set that to vertigo blue, you can change your view model, FOV, your X and Y, your X and Y, sorry, and then your Z, which just goes up and down. And then you have your player FOV, which you can change. It's pretty basic. And then you can change your aspect ratio. So this is like a 3 clicks Philip video. It's horrifying, and you can set that to anything that you really want to. It's kind of cool. I like how that's built in as well. Your hit mark health shot effect. So okay, so I screwed up the map. BRB. There you go. So once they die, you'll get that effect that you see in some HVH videos. So if I were to turn that off, you can do that on headshot only as well. So if you get a headshot, it does that. You can turn on hit marker, which, as you can see, it just puts a little hit marker, plays the sound, does that. You can change the size of the hit marker. So if I wanted a huge, and then if I were to shoot this guy, you couldn't see that there. Oops. I have it off. God damn it. Alright. There you go. So as you can see, that's a 100 size hit marker, which is kind of ridiculous. And then you also have your hit mark sound, which you can set to no sound, miss sound, boom, lighter, ups, or UPS, I'm guessing. I don't know. Bass, bubble, Roblox, fatality, and skeet. Dude. There we go. So the Roblox is just oof. It's kind of funny. And then underneath that you have your bullet tracer and damage indicator. So if I were to turn both of those on, you have your offset, show enemy as well. So as you can see, that's what the bullet tracer looks like. So if I were to shoot that guy, as you can see, there you go. Then again, that is it for your visual tab. So next up, we'll get into the rage tab, since that's not really what the sheet's known for. In your rage tab, you have 2 subtabs for aim and anti-aim. For your aim tab, you have your aimbot, which you can set to a key. You have your auto fire, your silent aim, and you can select to aim at teammates or not. And then you have your FOV, which you can turn from 0 to 360. You have your accuracy, so your accuracy can have no recoil. You auto stop, auto scope, auto crouch. Auto BAME is just, I'm pretty sure, force BAME. Then you have your hit chance, which is a percentage, so 0 to 100. So if we're at 57, for example. And then your auto wall min damage, so 17 or something. So just like that. So that is it for your aim bot category. Then you have your targets, which you can prioritize the selected hitboxes. So such as, you can prioritize this hitbox selected, and then you can change the multi-point, and then you can change the scan for the multi-points down here. So that's it for your aim tab and rage. Next up, you have your anti-aim. So if I were to go into third person really quickly, you can change your pitch, dynamic, emotion, up, straight, no spread, fake up, and then legit, which is just kind of basic. You have legit, desync, static, and then you have balance. So as you can see, just sort of moves me over. You can show your desync arrow. You can, which is on the left here, by the way. You have your auto directioning for your desync, so it depends on what way the wall is, which will turn you, as you can see. So the wall is this way, my fake will be that way, such as that. And then you have your ping check. So if your ping goes over this selected slider, it will just turn off your anti-aim. Underneath that, you have your no spread resolver, which you can turn on no spread resolver enable. You can change the pitch for that, your yaw. The self settings, you can change that as well. You have your resolver type, which you can set to brute force, multiply, average, switch, or desync, and then static. And then you'll also have jitter for your brute force. You have missed shots and shots fired, which is the multiply settings, which you can set to anything like that: average, switch, desync, which is nothing, and then static. And then you have untrust, just like that. And then down here you just resolve all. So that's pretty basic. That's it for your rage tab. I never use this cheat to really HVH, so I'm not 100% sure how the HVHing is, like the resolver and all that. But so yeah, because that's not really what it's for. It's basically just a grief and a perfect option for a legit cheat. So then, getting into the legit cheat, here is where your holy moly, that's a lot of settings just for everything. So down here you have your aim, trigger bot, knife bot, basic, RCS, P silent, and then delays. And then over here you have your configs. So if I were to find the AK really quickly. Okay, there we go. So the AK is selected now. Alright, so under aim tab you have your enable, your aim at teammates, which will just allow aimbot on teammates. You have aim on shot. You have your flash check for your aimbot, so you won't shoot or lock on rather if you're flash. Jump check, you won't lock on if you're jumping. Smoke, won't lock on through smoke. And then if they're jumping, it won't completely get you overwatched, because if they jump, your aimbot will completely follow and it won't look very good. Underneath that you have your weapon settings, which you can set to auto fire if you want it on a key, which is pretty useful for semi-raging. You have your draw FOV. So this is the FOV for the aimbot right now. As you can see, it's sort of set to just a linear go to their head, so it's not moving, and then as soon as I go on them, it moves straight to their head, and then I can just fire like that. You have your show target, so if I were to do that like that, you have your draw silent FOV, so if I were to have a silent FOV selected, it would come up. You have your wall check, so it won't lock on through walls. Scope check, so then if you have a scoped weapon, let me just, god damn it, here we go. So then if I didn't have no scope on, the black ring around the scope, it wouldn't lock on through that, and then shoot them just like that. You have your auto pistol, so we're to turn that on, get a better pistol to show this off with. Holding down the click button just basically makes it shoot. You have your quick peek, which you can set to a key. So if I were to do that, shoot, it would bring me back. It's just the same type of deal as one tap and stuff, as auto peek. Then you have your face it, which is just your face it setting. So if I were to turn that on, I would be free to play face it. You can change your RCS correction for face it by itself. Underneath that you have your entity aim, which you can set the entity name to, and then show entity name, just like that. And then underneath that you have your aim bind, which you can set to mouse 1. So as you can see, now I'm not locking on, and then like that, just basic type stuff, which you can set to an aim bind. So just like this. And then I need to, if I had that on, which you should, you need to set up everything. So on the right here you have your trigger bot, you can set to trigger. You can set to the aim at teammates. You can select the hitboxes that you want, so head, chest, stomach. You can do all the hitboxes. You can have your flash check, smoke check, jump checks, and then you can have your trigger aimbot, which is just your RCS, your hit chance for that, and then delay. And then you can set that to a bind, which if I were to set that to mouse 4, as you can see, as soon as I go over someone, my bad, it's because I had headshot only on. It's not because of the cheat. It's configured, dude. Swear to God. So that's it for your trigger bot, pretty basic. On the right here you have your knife bot, which you can set to a bind as well. So enabling it just knifes them. It's not the smartest knife bot, not the best knife bot at all. It misses knives quite a bit. I'm pretty sure this is probably because of the headshot only mode, but I could be mistaken. Don't really use the knife bot a lot. Over here you have your basic for your aimbot. So you have your based on speed or constant speed. You have your smoothing for that. You have your FOV, which again would be shown from your draw FOV. So as you can see, if I were to pull out a AK, as you can see, it just draws me straight to them. Actually, I can set to a FOV. And then there we go. So each config here for your weapons have different settings for everything basically. So that's, you know, you can select one button and then standard sections, custom sections, all weapon. So, you know, if you wanted to go that in depth, you can set up every single gun, which will take a long time, but it will be super duper legit and it will be perfect. So you can have based on speed, constant speed, your smoothing, your FOV for that, FOV position, which is center screen, recoil, or on player. Your nearest, which you can select for that, or you can select a hitbox. So nearest just selects the closest hitbox. And then underneath that you have your ignore limbs, and then backtracking, which you can set to any amount of ticks. And then you can also show backtracks. So that's it for your basic. Underneath that you have your RCS, which you can select standalone hitbox, first bullet. Just turn all these to random things. As you can see, it's just random. I just set it to random. Don't really know how to configure legit cheats, so there you go. To the right of that you have your P silent, which is just your silent aim. Turn that on. You have your chance forward to silent aim, which you can set to anything. You can set that to any FOV that you want. So if I wanted that on, turn that on really quickly. There we go. So as you can see, that's my silent aim box, the blue. So if we're in there, as you can see, I just silent aim them 100% of the time. If I were to set this to 23%, as you can see, it wouldn't silent aim them every single time they're in that blue box. Whoops. But then if I set that to 100, it instantly silent aims them every single time. Then you have your hitbox for your silent aim, your start bullet, end bullet, etc. So it's pretty basic. And then finally you have your delays. Target switch delay, which so then your aimbot won't switch targets immediately and lock onto the other person. First bullet delay, which you can set to 1 click. Your auto, and then silent auto delay, which you can set to from 0 to 1. And then you have your kill stop delay, and then you have your non-sticky aim, which you can set your lock aim to any milliseconds, your release aim to any milliseconds, and then your reaction time to any millisecond that you want, which basically makes you look 100% more legit. So that is it for your GetRekt review. Overall, I would probably give this cheat a solid, 9.5 out of 10 for the legit and griefing side. It's 100% perfect. There's so much options and selections that you can do with this cheat. The legit bot is fully customizable. There's so much that you can do with it. So if you're good and want to legit cheat, and you can config it, be my guest, go get yourself GetRekt. It's perfect for legit cheating. It's amazing. For the rage bot tab, I'm not 100% sure. Again, I haven't used this in HEH or semi-rage or anything. This is just literally my legit cheat. It's been great. And then your player list is amazing. Your miscellaneous, there's so many features. Your configs, there's quite a bit of Luas out there. Your player list, I love. Amazing feature here. Your visuals, they have a lot of selection. I'm not a big fan of the visuals. Just my type, I guess. It's not my first thing. So yeah, overall, I would give this cheat a solid 9.5 out of 10 for legit cheat. I don't know how the legit anti-aim does in, let's say, like a semi-rage. I never tried semi-raging. I don't know how the resolver is for that. But yeah, overall, the cheat's great. It's fantastic. The link down below is for that. Not sponsored, by the way. This is totally unbiased reviews. So thank you guys all for watching. It's been Thermite, and I will see you guys in another video. Don't forget to subscribe and like if you guys want. Comment down below what cheat you guys would like to see next, and I'll try and pick that up. Most likely it's going to be either Unity or Anura next. So thank you guys all for watching. Peace out, guys.